Our next guest, the Tennessee Kid. He went from the 7th grade science fair champ at Dumont Hadley to the greatest average American. Now he's selling out Madison Square Garden. He's hosted Saturday Night Live twice, and he's got his first ever feature film. And I think this could be his toughest role yet. A stay-at-home dad. Let's welcome in the funny, the talented Nate Bargatze. What's up, Nate?
What's up? Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I realized me and you have something in common. Both of our fathers, the Magic Man. My dad did the comedy magic as well. He actually even owned a pizza shop called Houdini's Pizza Magic. Nothing like your dad making his banana disappear around your girlfriend.
Yes. Yeah, I can imagine. That's, so you get it.
I definitely get it.
It's a lot, you know? It's like you learn when, it goes from cool to like, to then back to being cool again a little bit. Like it's, but yeah, you go through a wave of just like, you know, it's very cool that your dad's able to do this. So then you hit a point where you're like, all right, you know, and then, so yeah, but that's interesting. That's very funny that, we would have a lot of similar stories.
Grew up in the 80s and we both have comedy dads, but I know I've learned a few things from my old man, what to do and what not to do. But what is like the biggest show business lesson that your pops taught you when you were watching him do all those shows as a kid?
You know, I think the work ethic, just like how much he worked on his magic, and even though we're not doing magic, and but that same work ethic that I can bring into comedy, and just like working on your act and continue working your act. You know, I mean, you know, the fact that like your dad, my dad too, doing comedy is a big, you know, it's a big thing that helps too, because I feel like if we weren't around comedy, that wouldn't, you know, like neither one of us might be in the spot that we're in, because you at least we're seeing something else besides, you know, some magicians can be very straightforward and it's about the trick, and it's not like there's not a lot of personality in there. And so being around the personality and making people laugh it just helps you develop a kind of a full, you know, just kind of who you are now. And also like, you know, not that I didn't really do the magic route. It was able to go down the path to getting to do comedy.
The one thing I also learned from my old man, when you're doing comedy, you got to stay at those hotels where you get to sleep with the roaches. You know, he would tell me about some of these rooms he had to stay in. I was like, man, is it really worth it for $100? Are you serious? A lot of sacrifice out there on the comedy.
Oh, team. Yeah. I've probably stayed in, I mean, I remember staying in one, you would see roaches and they would just be out. And there's a point you have to accept that they're your pets. There's that many of them. So we live together now.
One dad, 3 kids, 0 clue. The new movie is called Breadwinner, and it's in theaters, and it stars our guest, the great Nate Bargatze. The thing I think of when I see this plot is I love the movie in the early 80s, Mr. Mom with Michael Keaton. You ever see that movie?
Yes, very much. And like, so it was, you know, definitely, when I first came up with it, I was naive enough I was like, we were saying it, and then I was like, oh yeah. And then it was like, it reminded of Mr. Mom. You're like, oh yeah, that's why it's a great idea. And so it's, very much influenced by John Hughes, who made a lot of those movies. And, you know, this fits very much in our personality. I think this is unique, kind of modern day version of it. But it's also got a lot of the throwback where, you know, this movie has a mix where it's, you know, my wife, Mandy Moore, goes on Shark Tank and she invents something. So the roles reverse. And, you know, at first it's very much the chaos, but then I also didn't want it to be just like, I think dads can take care of their kids. I think the first few weeks, like I know when my wife goes out of town, like, it's a lot of fast food. It's a lot of just like getting the job done. You know, my daughter stays up later than she probably should. And, but you know, if you had to really switch it, you're like, you would figure out your way to do that. And he does that. And I think it's a love letter to moms to show how much, you know, detail that they have that sometimes can get overlooked that a dad might not think about. And, you know, also showing a dad that wasn't probably hanging out with his was around his children, but getting to spend like really a lot of time around his kids and how much he missed that was special. It's a very fun, sweet, funny movie.
The one thing I related with, Nate, is the fact that you got to do all these towels. I don't know what's up with these women, but man, I can use the same towel for like 2 weeks. They use a different towel, 2, 3 in one freaking shower. It doesn't make any sense. You got a clean body. What the hell's the deal?
Yeah. I think my towel only gets changed. I think my wife changes it. Otherwise, it would stay the same. I'm even sometimes mad when she changed it. Like, I'm still like, I'm not mad, but you're kind of like, that towel is doing great still. Why were we, why would you mess with it?
We're talking with Nate Bargatze. The new movie is called Breadwinner. It's going to be in theaters this weekend. It's a TriStar film, so it's going to give you that feeling like you're about ready to see Terminator 2. Do you have the Pegasus at the beginning of the movie?
It's to start the movie. So we did not, TriStar makes you do that in every movie. So we just, we opened it with full Terminator. And then we ease you into the Breadwinner.
Fantastic. I really love what you're doing with Nateland. Nate, it feels like you're building this whole clean comedy ecosystem. You got podcasts, you're pulling up comics. But when I hear the name Nateland and you're from Tennessee, I'm thinking that you could really compete with Dollywood. Like you could actually make Nateland one day and it could be the most average theme park in America. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I am building a theme park. And so we don't want to compete with Dollywood. Dollywood is a number one theme park in the country, which is crazy. Dollywood's farther out. It's in Pigeon Forge, Smoky Mountains. It's kind of got its own world. Smoky Mountains are the number one park in the country that people go to. So they go to that. But Nashville had a theme park when I grew up. It was my first job. And so it's just kind of bringing that kind of back. But yeah, I mean, very much, again, like everything that I feel I need to do right now is like just really trying to, create experiences. And, this younger generation wants to go do experiences. They want to go out to stuff. They want to take, if it's a young family, they want to take their kids to things. And I don't think there's just having a daughter, there's only so many, things you can go do with them, even with the movies, going to the movies, it's like you used to be able to go to the movies and I think, you could go blind to the movies and find a movie that you would go watch. And sometimes like I'll look and it's just, there's nothing that's going to be like me and my wife would want to go see together. So we're trying to, it's like, trying to make all of that.
The Breadwinner is opening only in theaters this weekend. It stars our guest Nate alongside Mandy Moore. Colin Yost is in this as well. Clean family comedy fun with a dad trying to hold the house together. Make sure you go see it. Nate, congrats. You've hosted SNL twice now, and you had musical guests Foo Fighters and Coldplay, which is solid. You killed both times. What's something that surprised you the most about being the host at SNL? Something that maybe average people don't understand about that gig?
When you walk out those doors and you go on stage, I think the craziest part that I didn't think about till I was out there is there's a big TV kind of straight ahead so you can see yourself. And so you see yourself with that door and the band behind you. And that took me back. Like that kind of, I was like, oh, I got to stop looking at that. Because it's live. So you're like, there's millions of people watching this or whatever. And then you're seeing yourself and you get kind of starstruck in the fact that that where you're standing. And so trying not to get lost in that. That was, to me, it's when I first walked out, that surprised me the most. Of just like, oh man. Like, yeah, you're just like, this is happening and that's me and it's live. So that was pretty surreal to get to see that.
And what's the biggest thing you learned about acting in a movie that you never had to think about as a stand-up comic?
Playing with other people, as a stand-up, you're in complete control. It's just you up there. So, playing, acting with other people, playing with other people and that was the biggest lesson that I had to learn, was to, you let them go, delivering lines. You got to get certain points across, plot across is a big part, because as a comic, you can make a lot of jokes, and then it's like, all right, well, we don't know why we're here. So you're like, oh, yeah, I got to do that. So just that kind of thing.
All right, our guest is going to be playing with Mandy Moore, Colin Yost, and more in the new movie, The Breadwinner. Opens in theaters this weekend. Go see it. Get your popcorn ready and go see Nate Bargatze. Thank you so much for your time, Nate, and congrats on the success, man. Keep it rocking.
Thank you. I appreciate that.